What's up, YouTube? It's Joseph, the Code Noob, and I'm back here with you. I decided that I wanted to do a video on resources I use to learn web development and programming. Um, and I guess the first place I'm going to start with that is I'm going to share with you some developers on YouTube that I like to watch and use as resources for different reasons, and then I'll move from that over into some different online resources that I use. Uh, so let me turn on my screen sharing real quick. Alright, so if you go to my main page of my YouTube channel, you'll see the developers that I follow. The first one is Joe at Coding Phase. He's also the creator of codingphase.com, and on there he's got where you can buy some courses for really cheap, or you can subscribe and get all of his courses. And I've almost completed his HTML CSS course, and I think he explains everything phenomenally. So there's a plug for my boy Joe over at codingphase.com. The next person I follow is the real Casadero. He's a guy that was in the army for 15 years, got out, was wanting to be in tech, so he is learning web development. He does have a little bit of a tech background. I believe he works with servers, and he works for Microsoft. Each one of his videos is like a vlog. He goes over various things, as you can see if you look up in the little hover over. It says sales, marketing, code. I know he also has a website called Drink Coffee, Write Code, I believe, and he can tell you more about that over on his channel. He's got a bunch of cool little stuff. He's got some coding themed hats and various stickers and stuff for sale. He's got a couple really cool hats that I actually want to buy, so maybe I'll have one of those in a video soon. The next guy I follow is Chris Sean. He actually used teamtreehouse.com, and in 3 months he was able to use what he learned to get a job. Now, is everyone going to be able to go out and find a web developer job in 3 months? Probably not. Part of it was luck, he'll even say so, but he was sure of what he knew, and he had a willingness to learn. I know that after he's gotten his job, he's went on to learn PHP among a few other things for his job as well, and he's still learning other things that he didn't know when he got his job. So I think that this goes to show that your willingness to learn and to improve your skills and gain more skills plays a big part in your possibility to get hired as a new web developer. I also love his channel because he is so positive. Like, not that he doesn't go through anything and have his own ups and downs in life like we all do, because he does, and he shares that with you on his vlogs, but it's his outlook on life is really positive. In those days where you're just working and you're wondering, man, is coding really for me? Am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to do something? His videos are very encouraging. Same thing with the other two that I've already mentioned. They're very encouraging for beginners and people new to web development and coding. The next person I follow is Roseberry. She does various different coding and programming video vlogs. Her videos normally come out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've really enjoyed her videos just because she gives a little bit different perspective, and it's always nice to see women coders doing their thing. And I appreciate a lot of the videos she puts up. The next is Real Tough Candy, another female coder. Uh, I love her videos. She's just a really cool woman that'll sit down. She'll go over whatever the topic is that she's discussing. I know that one of her more recent videos was on freelancing, the proper ways to go about it, not go about it, and not not just undercutting people, but not to undercut yourself and not to sell yourself short for what you do. It's an amazing video. It's one of her more recent videos. So if you are watching this video as it's going live after it's uploaded within those time frame, you'll be able to find it there. She also has an awesome newsletter that she sends out filled with all kinds of information, whether it's about jobs or just different coding tech stuff. It's awesome. I enjoy it. Another guy that I watch is Aaron in Beta, and I believe he just recently, or fairly recently, got his first job as a developer. I think he may have went through a boot camp, or at least started in a boot camp. And but when he started his channel, like myself, he hadn't yet had a job. So I kind of look to him as one of my peers, but someone that's a few steps ahead of me. And some days when I'm just like, man, am I ever going to make it, past this rut I might be going through, or am I going to be able to hit that next level? I'm able to look at him and be like, look, he did it. He just kept grinding, kept doing his thing. I can do it too. The next guy that I watch is Program with Eric. He's got some really cool tutorials. I found out about him through Coding Phase, and I'm glad I did. He has some really cool tutorials. The next two guys, they mainly do tutorials. The first one's Coding Tutorials 360. I have watched a lot of his tutorials, like when I've just been out and about places and I wasn't able to be in front of my computer, and I've really liked his tutorials. I've saved some that I personally want to go back and do, but I've been unable to actually do one of his tutorials yet. But all of his videos that I've seen personally, I think are great, and that's why he's on this list, and I look forward to doing some of those tutorials. The last person we have is Trevor See Media. He does tutorials. Occasionally he'll just talk about things as well, not do a straight up tutorial video. He recently did this really cool parallax site and tutorial, and if you don't know what that is, you can check out his video. And I went through it. It was this really cool looking site, and if I had it to where I could open it up and show it to you now, I would. Actually, I might show you that at the end of the video, see what it to see what it looked like. But that was one of my first little side projects out of what I'm actually studying and doing now. So it was fun just to be able to do something that had me still coding, but it was kind of taking a little bit of breather from the coursework that I was doing. So all these guys, I would recommend subscribe to every single one of these. Each person has their own personality. They bring something unique to each of them brings something unique to the world of development, and I appreciate what each and every one of these men and women are doing, and that all of them that I've reached out to so far has been very welcoming to reach back out to me, help me, kind of mentor me a little bit, and share advice back and forth. So I appreciate that we have people like this in this community. So outside of YouTube, the number one thing that I have been using is Udemy.com. And you can find some free courses on here, but most of the courses as of right now are $10. And if you were to spend any money at all on anything to learn coding, my first purchase, just straight, hands down, would be this the Web Developer Bootcamp by Colt Still. And I'll click over here and kind of show you what his course looks like.
So I'd like you to
Let me go over here. This will well, here, there's a better way to do this. Alright, this is kind of an outline of what he teaches in the course. I will scroll through. You can pause the videos and look. Just to save time, I'm not going to go through each and every one. And so, some of these little things like this Yelp camp, that's a little project and stuff you do, in case the name didn't look familiar. But one of the things that I have been doing is I'm utilizing what I've learned in each one of these sections. Like we have a section on HTML and CSS. I've been utilizing this course with another resource, which some of you may have heard of, you may have not, freecodecamp.com. And basically what it is, it's these little exercises that basically teaches you how to do web development as you're actively programming and solving challenges. And if you look over here, you'll see, let me see if I can, I guess I can't make that any bigger, but you'll see that they have sections as well. They've got HTML, CSS, they've got all these little challenges for you to do for HTML and CSS. Then they have a section, responsive design with Bootstrap. So this first whole section of HTML5 and CSS I've completed, as you can see all the check marks. And the Bootstrap I have not started yet. If we go back over here to this Udemy course, I have done all of the HTML, the introduction to CSS. I have just basically the last little project to do in the intermediate CSS, and then the next portion is Bootstrap. So what I've been doing is, as I go through and I learn in each one of these sections, I will go over to Free Code Camp and do the corresponding section on that topic over here. That way I'm actively practicing what I've learned. And I've found that that's been helping me to kind of store in and ingrain all that information in my brain a little bit easier, because you're not just going to read something and instantly remember it for the rest of your life unless you have photographic memory. And if you do, then good. Use that to your benefit. Look at everything you can see and just store all that information. But I don't, so I have to practice. That's also where the other guys' YouTube channels where they do tutorials they have all these cool little side projects and stuff. You can do those things just to have practice. Another free resource that I use is Codecademy.com. I have only actually used one of their courses and I haven't finished it yet, but that was on Python. And what I have done through this course, at least for this topic, I have liked. I can't speak on any of the other courses so far, and I can't say whether or not the people that made that course on Python did every other course or if it was other people, so I don't know. But if you are tapped for money and your only option is that, ooh, I have to self-teach myself this because this is what I want to do and I really don't got funds to pour into it, utilize these free resources. And by all means, don't go to McDonald's for one day, use that $10, get this course. The other courses I have over here at Udemy are a JavaScript course and a React course by Stephen Grider. Just about anything that you grab from Stephen Grider is going to be gold. Same thing with Colt Still. I have his Ultimate MySQL Bootcamp, which is mostly all on back-end stuff to do after I finish the web developer bootcamp, because that only touches on the back end just a little bit. And this course right here, web design for web developers build beautiful websites, this was actually a free course that I found on here, and I just picked it up because I have just very minor experience with anything graphical design and programs like that, whether it's Photoshop or GIMP or whatever. I haven't really used those things too much, and I know that for things I want to build on my own, sometimes I'm going to have to do some of that in order to get the looks that I want. So I grabbed that just as another tool to help me out. Also, if you're really wanting to get the basics of HTML and CSS, I highly recommend Joe from Coding Phases course, especially if you have no tech experience or any type of computer experience really, other than knowing how to turn on the machine and turn it off, because he explains things very simply, where sometimes other developers that's been doing this for a while, they might not break it down and explain it for someone who's never heard of these things before, because sometimes, unfortunately, people just take it for granted that you might know what a variable is, or you might know what a string is or something, and then they go back and later, after they've introduced the name of that object, they'll come back later and define what it is. And that's just something that happens in every industry. But he did a very good job of just breaking down everything as he goes. So if you're absolutely new to anything web development, I highly recommend his course as well. There was one more thing I wanted to show you guys. I said I was going to show. I was going to show that website that the little project I made. So let me check this out. All right. So, and this is something I want to share also, because when you are doing little projects from tutorials that you've learned online, you've got to think that there's like 1,000 other people that's done the same thing that you've done by following these tutorials. So you need to be able to set yourself apart. The background images I've used for this one, like this first one that you'll see, is different from what he used. I decided not to use the ones that he did because I kind of wanted to make it my own. And I'm actually not done with this project. I'm going to take a couple other little tutorials, like how to make these cool little drop-down menus. I'm going to take one of those, add it in over here, and maybe do a login authentication thing over here. But this is what I found really cool about this video, and it maybe took me like 30 minutes, if that, give or take a little bit, to do this. But what this does is, as you scroll through this website, the background stays static, and then you'll see it comes down here into a paragraph section. But as you continue to scroll, the next section has a new background image that stays static as you scroll, then a third one, and then finally a fourth one. I thought that was cool to be able to do something that's a little bit flashy. This was all done in just HTML and CSS, and it was actually very simple. But I just want to reiterate one more time, when you're doing little tutorials and projects that other people are teaching you to do, you don't have to do them exactly the way that they did it. And even in Colt's course, as he'll go through, he'll want you to try to build it from scratch before you do the code along, and he shows how he did it. And what I've also found is there's hundreds of ways to do the same thing. So everything don't have to be exactly the same as long as it's working. But also at the same time, sometimes there's a quicker, shorter way, to condense your code. There's more efficient ways of doing your coding, and so maybe you want to take that into consideration when you're looking at things as well. But as you do them, make it your own. Put in your own personality and your own little bit of flavor in there. And then don't just take little small individual projects. Like I was talking about wanting to put in that menu. Add stuff to it, because even if you had this on your portfolio site and someone goes, well, you know what, I've seen 50 other people basically do the same thing and it's on their portfolio sites along with all these other little different projects, you adding more to it and building onto it, making it bigger, just shows your own personal initiative to take things beyond and to make them better than just what they can be, or just what they are at the basic level. And that's something I would look at for an employer, for an employee. If I were going to employ someone, I'd want someone that doesn't just want to meet the bare minimum. I want someone that wants to go beyond and do the best they possibly can. So keep that in mind as you're doing these things and you're going on to build your portfolio site. You never know. This might actually turn into the basic front page for my portfolio site as I learn more things to do and I'm able to add more things into it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, maybe it'll just be a little portfolio project to go on my portfolio site. I don't know, but if you guys stick around, watch my videos that'll come out later, you'll see whether it does or not. The other thing that I wanted to share is that I know that with Joe at Coding Phase and the Real Casadero, Chris Sean, Real Tough Candy, they have all been very friendly. They all have their own little followings and little community that they're building with their subscribers, and I've been able to be a part of each of their little communities, talk back and forth, and they've all been great people that really strive to want to see people succeed. They're just not out here making videos just to make videos, and that's something that I saw that I wanted to take and to implement into my channel. Is that I know that there's probably thousands of other people that's at my level that you're just beginning, and that you're hoping to one day get into your first web development job. All these people that's out here at the same level as I am, I want to see you guys succeed as much as I want to see myself succeed. And with that said, this is a great opportunity to build a community of people where you become friends, and you're also able to network and meet people. You never know that, for example, I might go in and decide that I really love back-end stuff, so I just basically want to be a back-end programmer, and I really don't mess with front-end stuff so much. And I might make a friend through YouTube or through any of these other various communities that loves to do front-end. And then because I might know someone else and they're able to get me a job, say building a website for, I don't know, $500, $1,000 or something, and I can say, hey, I know that you've got the mad skills to do front end stuff, and I couldn't do justice what you could do. You want to work on this with me? We'll knock it out in a couple days. Split the money 50-50. This is a great opportunity to meet people that you're coming up with. Everyone that you see does not have to be your competition. You should look at them as friendly competitors and have that good, like almost like sibling rivalry to push you to do better and stuff, but you also need to take the time to look at other people as your assets and your friends and people that can benefit you and that you can benefit them. So I just hope that you people will keep that in the consideration as you learn and grow as developers yourselves. And I really hope that you stick around, watch my channel grow, and I appreciate each and every one of you that's out here taking the time to watch my videos. If you are a subscriber, thank you for returning. Please like my video, comment, share what kind of videos you would like to see from me. Because sometimes there might be a drag in what I'm learning, but I still want to be able to put up content. So if it's some kind of filler video, I would like to use those filler videos to cater to what you guys want. And if you are a new viewer, I hope you'll subscribe and stick along for the ride. And haters, if you're here and you want to hate in the comments below. I'm going to take whatever you got to say as constructive criticism to make myself better. And so I want to thank you for your time that you've took to watch this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys around. Thanks.